My name is Ahmed Radi, and I'm the group leader of our project, Null Group. So I'll be giving an overview about our project, and everyone will explain his part separately. And I'll give also overview about the system architecture and how we built our server, as long as with the firewalls and configurations, and how we connected everything together. So first, we have two web servers connected to a separated database. We have built the web servers on Amazon EC2 instances using Ubuntu servers, and we created different volumes in each server to give them more efficiency with the storage or data increasement. So and we separated the database so we can protect it physically and on software base. And then we connected all the separated database server and the WordPress servers or applications to our load balancer. So help it to be more efficient and to give the user the requests and to respond quickly to the requests of the user. And then we connected this all to Amazon Cloud Front distribution, so we can distribute the data and the request and the traffic to all of Amazon service around the world. Whenever someone requested from like a remote region or whatever, Amazon will work on it, and it will also give him a static content when the website is down. So first we created, I'll give an overview about all of our project. So first we created the web server. We created it based we created based on Ubuntu servers, and then we set up the WordPress, and we configured all of the ports and we configured the database lately with our WordPress servers, and then we connected it. So here is our servers, our web servers, and we created the WordPress on different directory. Here is it, and this is the other server for us. We also created WordPress on the other directory. So this is a NSA project 2 website, and this is the first website. It's all built with WordPress, and then configured with the database server. And then the database server, actually, we have let's connect to our database server here. We have created two different databases for our project, both for WordPress 1 and WordPress 2, and we have configured it to be remotely accessed. So let's see our configurations. etc MySQL. So here is it. We have modified a little bit here in the print address. We modified it to work remotely with, we commented it so it can work remotely with any server. And then we used commands to allow access to the database from our web server's IPs. And then the load balancer, we used Amazon Web Service load balancer to, it's working with instance, and it's easy to install as well. And then we used Amazon Web Services CloudFront. Where's CloudFront? Yeah, and finally we secure the servers by configuring the firewall and make sure that the system is working flawlessly. And then I'll show now how we configure the servers together and how we were able to make it work with the balancer and the CloudFront. So first of all, we have used Amazon Web Services firewall or security groups for our instances. So yeah, here's our security group we used. We just opened the ports, HTTP ports and MySQL ports and HTTPS in case we will upgrade to HTTPS ports. And then I configured it as well internally. Let's say I configured it manually to also be open to the internet. Yeah, here's it. So this is our ports 22 for SSH, 33 OX, 80 and 21. And here's the ports, open ports. And this is a first web server, and I have also opened the same ports and the same configurations for firewall, also for web 2 and for the databases. And then after that we configured the web config of the WordPress, and we installed it along with the database, and then we configured the load balancer first, and then the CloudFront application. And that's all from me, and my friend is my group mates will continue for each part of this project. First, Abdullah will talk about web servers, and then Moaz will talk about the database server, and lately Tanjir will talk about the load balancer and how we configured it to work with the web application. And that's all from me. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I am Abdullah Nassan. This is my part in our project, web server. First, I have installed two Ubuntu service on Amazon Web Services. The first one like Web 1, and the second one is Web 2. And then I will I will connect to these two services with SSH to set up WordPress and configure it. This is the first one, and this is the second. Then I have set up two WordPress applications for our project and configure it with the remote database. And I will show you everything I did on the screen. This one is the first website, and the second website is this one, the second website. And now I will explain how I installed WordPress on these servers. Like first, I have installed Apache 2 and PHP 5 on each server. This is the Apache 2. And another one is PHP. And this is the same for other server also. This is PHP file, and the first one is Apache 2. Then I downloaded the WordPress files and used WordPress setup process. And the same for other server. And configured it with the database credentials. This is the name, and this is the database name, and another thing, database username, and the password, database password I mean, and the last thing, and this is the last thing is the remote database host. I have done the same with the other WordPress server. That's all for my part. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
My name is Moaz Al Osman. In this video, I will discuss how I configured a remote database server that our web service can connect to for dynamic content. We'll be creating two databases for our WordPress applications on one server. I use Amazon Web Service to create a Ubuntu server and install MySQL on it. Now I will connect to my database server using SSH. So here on this server, I installed MySQL. You can see here we already the new version. I will use the user root to connect to that database and password. Now connected. Let's view our database. To database. You can see this is the first database and this is the second database. Now let's preview that inside the database. Use WordPress underscore DB. Show tables to show the tables that stored in the database. And same, so here, what we have inside our database. All of the WordPress content and the same for the other database as well. Finally, these databases are being used by the WordPress servers created by my group mates. That's all for my part. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Sanjeev. I am going to describe about the load balancer. Before begin with, I'm going to tell in a brief what is load balancer. The load balancer can be added to a server environment to improve performance and reliability by distributing the workload across multiple servers. So, for example, if one of the servers that is load balance fails, the other service will handle the incoming traffic until the failed servers become healthy again. So it can also be used to serve multiple applications through the same domain and port by using a layer 7 application layer reverse proxy. So now, instead of using manually load balancer, here we are using the Amazon Web Services load balancer. For now, I will show how we are going to install it and configure it to work with our web applications. So now first we create the load balancer. So we choose HTTP from the application load balancer and then create and then name of our basic configuration of the load balancer NSA and choose internet facing. Then from the availability zone we choose two of the subnet and then next configure security settings. Next, from here we will select the existing selected groups, copy to new, and then we are choosing from the configure security groups. Next, to configure the routing, so here we put the name as load balancer and then target type is instances. As we are working the WordPress, so we are choosing HTTP and the port is 80. Next, register the targets, choosing one of the web from the security groups and the instances, and then we just review. So far we can see that from the listener as we're working in the WordPress, the port is 80, protocol HTTP, and the IP version is 4. So whenever it's going to be finished the setup, we need to wait until it's working fine and smoothly, as we can see. So now let's check our website and see if it's still working. So from here we can see there is a web 1, the first server. We can check from here if it's working or not. So this is the first web server and it's working fine. And then we will check the web 2, the second web server. And this is the second web servers from the pages and it's also working. So far we observed that from the two of the server is working fine. And in conclusion, whenever people visit our website, the load balancer will work to serve their request quickly. And when something happens to our server, the load balancer will make sure a copy of it is still working and still active to make sure all the requested from the customers, the people they requested. So that's all from me. Thanks for watching. Assalamu alaikum.